Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint 2 white horses. Really excited about this one. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it from start to finish. I'm going to try to keep it beginner friendly. We're going to have lots of good blending with this one and show you some grayscale, how to create your own kind of grayscale value with a palette knife and your paints. So anyhow, got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man in chat for our live show, so if you have questions while I'm painting, you can ask those and I will try to answer them. Let's get started. Alrighty, we're using a bigger canvas today. I tried to get it all fitted in here. Our camera is right here. So the angle's a little bit off. It's not quite square to the canvas or square to the camera today, but I think it should work okay for us. It's a 16 by 20 inch canvas, no special kind. It was just one that I had hanging around the studio here. This is our reference photo, and I did crop my reference a little bit. I had to crop it to fit this canvas. This is a 16 by 20, so I cropped this to 8 by 10 so that it was exactly the same ratio, and that way when I drew it, it made it a little bit easier. So it kind of ended up being a little bit more like that. The ends, the sides got cut off. Another way you could do it is just add a couple inches to the top and make it 8 by 10 that way. But I decided to cut off the sides. Anyhow, long story there. You don't want to hear about it.
Well, no, it helps people understand, the decision process.
Right,
okay,
right.
You could do it this way or that way.
Exactly. All right, so I'm going to maybe, oh, goodness, got a new red line brush here. Lost a few bristles there. That was weird. I used it to do the background. The base coat is white, just regular titanium white, and I'm not going to really do anything special to the background. We're just going to be painting right over that white, but I did want to give it a coat of white because that gesso is just not going to seal as the same. The white paint will give us a better surface to paint on. All right, we've got a few angle brushes besides the larger one there if we end up using it. This is a number 10 angle bright, a number 6 angle bright, number 8 bright, and then this is a number 2 flat and a number 2 round. These are going to be kind of our basic brushes. Because we're using a larger canvas, we're upscaling our brushes. If I was using a smaller canvas, I could use like a 3/8 inch or something like that for it. But we're going bigger today, so we're just going to upscale our brushes a little bit. And we'll use a fan brush for some of the eyelashes. And that's about it. Pretty easy. These are 6100 Princeton series brushes. They're available on the Brush Guys website. The link's down in the description for that. Let's go over our colors really quick. Got a new palette set up. It shows my water today. So if you guys like it, let me know because I may end up leaving it like this so you can see kind of the dipping into the water and stuff. But it does make the palette a little bit farther away. So for color mixing, it may not be as great. But maybe we'll get you a fancy zoom in camera for this one eventually.
Oh, yeah.
And that way you can zoom in and out on the color mixing maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right. We've got titanium white, unbleached titanium, more titanium white, carbon black, burnt umber, burnt ultramarine blue, burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and this is just glazing liquid. Golden glazing liquid, and that'll just help the paint flow on a little bit better and give us a little bit extra blending time. Okay, so the reason why I put all of this white right here in the middle is because we're going to use our palette knife and mix up a grayscale to start with, and that'll make the painting go a lot faster as we work. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I drew the horses. Since you're working on such a large canvas, what I do is you could either grid this, and there's programs that show you how to do it. You could use a ruler and grid it here. So if I did 1 inch squares on here, I would do 2 inch squares on here because it's twice as big. You could do it that way. Or what I did is just kind of figured out sort of where my center was right here. So this horse's eye is kind of right in the center right here, and just started there and kind of marked that. And then went above it a little bit and in to start this horse. And I worked on him first. And just kind of check your angles so you can kind of use your pencil to see that is almost straight up and down right there. That little section right there. and then kind of work out your major milestones. So the top of his head was a little bit from the top here, maybe about, if you take a half mark and then your quarter mark again, it's just above the quarter mark. So here's half and quarter, it's just above that. Make a mark there, and then come down here and do the same thing down here. And this one is just about on the quarter on this end, just a little bit lower than quarter. So here's that, here's quarter, and then here's the bottom of his lip right there. And they're almost straight up and down here from this ear. If you kind of mark that ear and make a straight line down, that's kind of the edge of his face. So I'm going to do that ear first because it's the topmost part of the drawing or of our thing. And it's really just kind of a wedge shape. Comes in a little bit, and then there's a straight line that angles out to this mark that we've already made, right? And then it comes in and goes down, almost straight down. And then right about before we get to this mark here, we start to curve it in. And then there is a little dip right here for the lip. And then it curves around back this direction. And then the bottom lip here curves in, back out. This is a pretty sharp shape right here. And then the width of this is about the same width as 2 times of that. So if you kind of take this width to the back end of the eye is to the back end of the jaw here. So I just use my fingers and kind of measure, and it's right at the bottom curve there is the bottom curve of the eye. So I'm going to take that measurement there. There's the bottom curve of the eye, almost straight across from right there. And you're going to want to put it up high because you're going to think, oh, well, that's the eye socket. It needs to be up here, and that will be wrong. So don't do that because you're seeing the eyebrow here, not the eye. The eye's down here. So just resist the temptation to do that. And make sure that your eye is right, kind of almost smack dab in the center from the nose. Up here, so that's correct. And then I'm going to do this almond shape. There's a tear duct right here. It comes down, and then the lashes are going to be kind of above. There is the brow bone. We're seeing a little bit of that. We're seeing like the shadowing underneath the eye a little bit. And then here's that angle down the nose. And then this is going to curve in. So once we know kind of where all this is going to be, then we can measure here to the back of this jawline, right? Curve that in, and that is pretty much coming up around that eye. So it's pretty much almost, if you drew a circle right here, it'd come right in here. So this is our jaw right in here, and it angles down like that. And then this line goes straight to that there. And there's a little notch here. There's some details right here that curve in like that. And then the nostril is right in here. So here's our lip area. It's just below the lip area, right in here. And it's a little semicircle with a straight edge cut off kind of. And then it attaches right there, okay? And this should be, it's pretty big. It fits most of this mouth area, so might make it a little bit bigger than I drew there. And you're not seeing the side over here. And then there's a little shadow right there. All right, so I think we've got it pretty good right there. Then the body is going to curve down from this, where these two meet here, right there. Almost in a little bit, and then out like that. Okay, and I might even make this a little bit more drastic right there. All right, and then the top of the head, if you just kind of follow that line there and curve up and back around like that. And And then we're going to see the hair is going to come in here, and it's going to curve all in here. And then there's a piece of hair that goes up to the ear, over it, and then curves over the forehead and around the eye this way. In front of this ear is placed, if you did a line straight up from the eye, it would be kind of this edge of the ear right here. And then we're going to curve it up and out a little bit. Do that wedge shape here. We're going to see the hair coming around like that. And then we're seeing the inside of the ear a little bit right here. Okay. So there's our first horse. And then it looks a little bit weird because of the angle, but I think we've got it just about right. Might bring the nose out just a little bit more right here.
Can you make sure to paint the eye last?
Paint the eye last?
Yeah, just...
so it look really creepy for longer?
Yeah, just for me.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
I will. Yeah. All right. So we started on that little bit of the eye right here. And I find the eyes are good reference to start and make sure that you're getting it... getting those right. If you get those right, then most of the rest of it is fairly easy to place. So here again, this time I'm going to look at the bottom of the horse's mouth and do kind of a mental angle this way. So here is my angle here. So I'm going to bring my horse nose down here and up this way. And the mouth's going to curve around right there and in. And then there's Cashmere. I knew she was going to do that. As soon as Mark closed that door, I knew. There's my cat banging on, knocking. Just knocking on the door. Knock, knock. Okay, here's our...
Who is it?
Oh. There's our nostril. Looks like a kind of kidney shape or like a paisley shape almost. And then... so it kind of squares off right here before it comes up. Curves out a little bit right here. Curves out like that. Okay. She's flirting now with Mark over there. Oh, Father, thank you for rescuing me. You're my hero. All right, so that angle is out here. This does a Y right here. Same thing here. It kind of splits out, widens out to meet with this, which is, again, kind of right. You kind of did an angle for this eye, which let's go ahead and do that. So here's the width. Here's this. So that, this and this are about the same width. And to that, same width. So... let's go ahead and do that. Yep, right in there. That's the bottom of the eye. We're just seeing it kind of curving around it and seeing the bottom of the lid. Right here, then there's kind of an angle that comes out like that. That will be shading. Curves back up. And then this... right here is going to be circling around that eye, right? There's the angle. Yep, looks good. Okay. And then we're going to be following this curve up and around. Excuse me. Just like that. All right, for the top of the horse. And then the mane is going to be coming up in here and coming down. And then there's more of the mane that comes in like this and over the eye. I'm not going to draw that all of that in. Let's do this ear that tucks right in here into this empty space. So it's like right up in here. Moving it over a little closer to this horse. Like that. And then this ear is coming straight at us. So we're not seeing, it's not going to be really big. So don't, You're gonna think it looks weird. It's gonna look weird because it's not gonna be the same size as the other ears, but it is right because it is facing straight at us. So we're instead of seeing this, we're seeing this. So it's this much smaller area right here. Okay.
Kind of reminding me of Close Encounters there.
Tucks up right above the tucks up right above the eye. Exactly. So I need to get that angle right. So that actually cuts off a little bit closer right there. And I'm using water-soluble pencil, so if I make any mistakes or want to move anything around, I can just wipe it off.
Yeah, somebody asked what kind of pencil it was that you're using. This
is, I'll show you in a minute. Here.
Okay.
I'm just going to take off this chalk mark there. Okay. It is a aquarelle graphite Faber-Castell pencil, 4B. So it's a little bit softer, darker.
And we have a link in the Amazon store for those?
I'm not sure if I have these ones. I'm not sure if I found them on Amazon or not, but if I didn't, they're at least I have the watercolor pencil. You could use a watercolor pencil too. Just a dark watercolor pencil, okay? And then for the chin area here, or the neck, I should say, you're going to, like if you did a line from the ear curving down this way, right, from the tip of the ear, just like that. So there's our neck, and it's really kind of just about halfway on this. The back end of it is right here. You're seeing a little line. There's a bunch of lines that come up this way from it. And then right about here, it comes in. You're seeing this part of the horse right here. You're zoomed in too much, honey. There you go. And then this comes down about halfway here, so right about this chin area. I might bring this down a little bit. I might be too high with that. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, no, that looks about right. I might move this down just a little bit. And then that's about it. And then there's some shadows happening in here that we'll put in, but that's about it. All right, so there's our drawing. Not too bad, 18 minutes. Helps that I pre-drew it, so kind of always here erasing and moving things around. Takes me a while to get the proportions just right since I don't grid. Because I would save myself some time if I did that, but... All right, so I'm just going to take off any extra lines now that I don't need. Just with my cloth before I start. Damp cloth here. And I can use a dry cloth and it'll kind of wipe away the chalk pretty good for me. I'm going to leave the pencil lines so that our horses don't turn purple, since I was using a purple chalk there. I find the softer chalk easier to draw with. It goes a little bit faster. It's just faster to use. Softer on the canvas, and then the pencil is good for more detailed, so. All right, so here's our horses. It looks pretty good, I think. Pretty close to the right proportions. All right, so I'm going to use a palette knife here. I've got this big clump of white. I'm going to grab a little tiny bit of black to start with. And I'm going to add this to the white. and create a really soft gray to start with. And this will be kind of our horse color, our main color for our horses. They're very, very soft gray color. And you can see I didn't use a lot of black. I don't want it to turn too dark too quickly, so that looks about right. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to scoop up. Once I get it mixed, I'm going to scoop up a little bit, set it right there. All right, and then I'm going to get a little bit more black. About the same amount each time. Mix that up.
Boy, you got quiet while I was eating my marshmallows.
I got quiet?
Yeah. Oh. So then I had a mouthful of marshmallow. I couldn't say hi to everybody.
Oh yeah, I meant to say hi and welcome. And if you're new to our channel, hope you'll subscribe. All that good stuff.
Yeah, glad that you're here.
Absolutely.
Horse lovers, as weird as you are, we like you.
Should we tell you a horror story of your first horse ride, honey?
I was epic. I had all my horse riding training from movies, so I knew exactly how to ride a horse.
Right.
So
I grew up with a cousin that had a horse, so I spent summers with her riding, and so I was at least familiar with horses. And we stopped on our first spring break after we were married to at a roadside. We were in Mexico.
Yep.
Right outside of Ensenada, in a little seaside. It was gorgeous, beautiful spring. It was the flowers blooming. It was really beautiful. And got a couple horses. When the guy found out that Mark had never ridden, he gave him the old nag. And literally, I've never seen a more swayed back horse than Mark got on. It was sway back to the extreme.
Like a reverse camel.
It really was. It was like the belly, he was
dipped
in the belly of the beast. And I started walking. He showed us where the trail was. He just kind of pointed and was like, you go that way. The horses pretty much know where to go. Mm-hmm. And so I start walking, and Mark's not behind me. And I'm like, where is he? And I look back, and he is holding his reins up in each hand, like he's gonna ha ha. It was hilarious. I busted out laughing.
That was funny because we were on a wide dirt road.
Right.
And then later we were, kind of went down toward...
Okay, go ahead.
Kind of went down towards the ocean, and then we got onto the cliffs.
Right.
And then the trail narrowed.
To, one horse width.
Yeah, to a path. And then my horse decided it didn't want to go anymore.
Right.
Just sat there, and so the guide was having a fun time too, and he decided to come up and slap the horse on the backside. I knew the horse and I were going to go running off the side of that cliff. Right then and there. Died.
And I'm in the front, so I'm not privy to any of this. I'm just having the best time, looking at the ocean down below us. And isn't this great? And Mark's terrified. He's in mortal danger on the back of that beast.
It was so fun. I can't wait to go back and do that again.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Good times, good times.
Oh my gosh. Poor Mark. I didn't find out till years later how scared you were, though. He was too much of a guy to let on how scared he was.
I knew I was going to die. I was convinced.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, we're still here, and now
we made it. You made it.
Streaming on YouTube across the world.
I know. It's amazing. And painting your favorite beast. I think we maybe got you on a horse one other time after that. And then
yeah. But it was here in Arkansas, I think.
No, it was in Arizona.
Okay, yeah. No ocean around, no cliffs.
Right. I think this medium gray is going to be one we'll use a lot.
Oh, somebody in chat says poor horse. Thanks a lot. Oh, hold on, I got to go block that person real quick.
As I get closer to the black, I'm going to add more black each time. So at first I was just adding a tiny bit, and really probably could have combined a couple of those. I've got a lot of the lighter grays here. You get a few of the darker grays. And I want to end up with about 7 or 8 different values here, just to give us some good difference to work with here. All right, now getting a pretty good amount of black. And if you run out of, I'm getting close to running out of my white base, you can always add a little bit more white off to the side here. I think this may be almost our last. All right, let's grab a really good amount of black here. So this is our black with just a tiny touch of white, like this was our white with just a tiny touch of black. Makes sense? Okay, I'm going to call that good. A pretty good scale there. So that'll give us a good starting base to work with. And I tried to kind of keep the little piles as small as possible, and that way they won't dry out as quickly. I'll wipe my palette knife off, and I'm going to mix the burnt umber and ultramarine blue. These are in equal parts, and this will be our kind of backup gray black for when we want just a touch of color to our gray. And we'll just touch into this if we want to. And really we could do a whole nother grayscale with this gray if you wanted to, or we could have used this instead of the carbon black if you wanted a warmer gray, because these are pretty cool. And when I say cool, I mean bluish. And this can be warm or cool depending on if you add more brown or more blue, but this is pretty much equal parts. So it's going to be kind of right in the middle, but I find it's still a little bit warm most of the time. Okay, that's good enough. I'm just kind of trying to scoop off most of it off of my knife there. All right, and then let's see if I can get my palette clean in this area so I have a spot to work with. That'll do. Okay, all right, let's get started now. So now you'll find that it goes a lot faster if you do this ahead of time and just make sure that you spray it and keep those colors moist. You'll be able to work pretty quickly on our horses and work between the values. How you doing, hon?
Good. I finished off my hot chocolate though.
Ooh.
So we better get done real quick here.
Okay. All right.
This is how to draw a horse, right?
I think I'm going to do the 10 angle for this. I think this might be too big. I was really hoping to use it, but I think it's going to be too big. So we'll just go ahead and use this. This is about a 1 inch. That was a 2-inch brush. I'm going to get some water. Put off the side. I think that, yeah, that's good. It was a new brush, so I was just making sure that I didn't have any sizing in it. They put like, not fabric softener, like starch in it, like they do on clothes to stiffen them when you get a new brush. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to start with this first gray here. And I guess let's start up here so that I don't put my hand in it. How about that? You'd be proud of me, honey. I'm going to put that on. Let's grab some glazing liquid, grab some white.
You're learning.
I am. I'm going to come in below it with the white. Mix that in. And I'm going to go with like 1, 2, 3, 4. And use that up here. And I'm just kind of going in the direction that this, I'm seeing the horse muscles, musculature. Grabbing some glazing liquid, get that mixed in, and then let's add some of that lighter color up in here. Blend those two together. And I'm just using large sweeping strokes, trying to get the color just about right now. That's really all I'm worried about, getting these values right. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of the darker color right here on this part of the neck. And a little bit down in here. Grab some of that lighter color, blend over and in next to it while it's wet. There's a little bit darker area right in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. Okay, get the lighter color. Maybe get a gray that's closer to the color, and I'm just going to blend over the edge there while it's wet. Grab some white. Blend some of that over. This is going to be, you know, several layers, so we're just kind of trying to get it close to the values that we want. And when I say values, I just mean the dark and lights of the colors. Just make sure that if you have done an area that you let it dry before you try to mix more color, like so. I don't want to go back up here and mess with this much because this is all starting to dry now. So if I mess with it while it was drying, it would lift. Grabbing some of that lighter color and just blending in this way. And you're seeing kind of some ridges in the neck here, so I'm going to kind of use the brush strokes and leave them. Not going to smooth it out much. Let's use this number 3 here. Right in there, some of that lighter color. And then the white. This area in here is pretty white.
So somebody had made the comment before the show started and said that you would think that the only colors you'd be using are black and white. So,
Well, you could do it in black and white, you know, really. You don't have to do it with the other colors. The other colors I'm just going to add in to add a little bit of warmth and, you know, change the tone a little bit. But for the most part, I'm going to do it in the black and white. Yeah. Grab that letter. White. And this area in here is very dark, so I'm going to grab the really dark color and add that right in here. And along this part of the neck. Right there. Okay, grab that lighter color again. Of course, I still have that dark color on my brush, so it's going to mix with it a little bit. And I'm going to come in right underneath. And this area is almost white up here. Get it pretty light. Sort of disappears into the background up here. I'm going to make sure that I go over my lines so they blend out. Grab some of that. Gray there. Grab some of the sort of medium color. You can see on the palette, hopefully, what colors I'm grabbing. So I may not make it clear while I'm working quickly here. A little bit of the lighter color right on the inside here. It's a little there. And then let's use this darker color. Kind of curve in. Right here, this area is kind of, there we go. This brush is probably a little too big to do any of these smaller details, so I'm not going to do too much more right there. All right, let's making that a little bit darker right there. And there's a little bit of a shadow right there. Okay. And probably just need to leave that because this is all starting to kind of dry now, so I don't want to do too much more. I'm going to kind of clean off that edge there, though. Just kind of go in between with the lighter color. All right. Some of the darker color down in here. And then get the kind of medium grays next to it. These are all pretty. Grab that glazing liquid. I keep forgetting to get that. That'll help it move a little bit easier on the canvas. So I'll put the dark color down, and then before it dries, I want to get kind of the next color or two maybe up and blend them together to soften those edges. All right, there we go. Go a little bit darker. Blendy, blendy. Okay, getting there. So this area up here definitely needs to be darker, but oh, I just touched it.
We were doing so good.
I need, yeah. Okay, so let's let that dry. Let's work on the large areas in this horse over here, and then we'll come back and work on the smaller areas, get a smaller brush out. So I'm going to get some of these darker colors here, coming right up underneath the neck. This area is going to be really dark. This horse.
So somebody asked if they could just use any grays that they already have.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the tubes.
Yep.
Okay, and so there won't be any points for doing that?
Minus points.
Right.
Yeah, no.
All right.
I think we're good. Right. I actually contemplated doing that because I have a ton of grays too like that are pre-mixed. But I wanted to show how to do it this way, so. But yeah.
Okay.
It's a good way of doing it because it's easier, you know, to have them right out of the tube. And that way you know exactly what color it's going to turn out to, which is nice. Grab some white here. Do this part with the white. Come back. This color on my brushes. Wipe my brush clean. There we go. I'm not going to worry about the hair at all. I'm just going to go right up over top of where all that hair is going to be. Alright, let's grab some of this lighter color. It goes really light pretty quickly right here. So excuse me. We're just going to go a little bit darker underneath here. because this will be all in shadow up underneath the hair. So we'll go dark, and then we'll put the hair on over the top, and it'll have this dark color underneath as we work. But even though it's still underneath, I'm still going to kind of, you know, remember what direction the muscles are going, you know, kind of just like we do in flowers, you know, but where we kind of, you know, follow the line of the petal. The muscles are kind of pulling this way. You're seeing shadows that way. Right there, let's put a little bit of...
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't know that flowers had muscles. It's like, I have not been paying attention.
Now, get the lighter color, go over with the lighter. And really, this is a big brush to be using for this. I probably need to switch brushes. So if I know I'm going to switch brushes, what I'm going to do is make sure that I don't have any hard edges. If I know I'm going to go back in and blend it later, like I am right here, and like right here, where what I did is I just made sure that these edges are really soft and feathered out so that I don't have any hard lines that I have to go back in and compete with later. If you have these hard edges, it makes it really hard to blend back over later. So let's go in with some lighter color here. Yeah, I did a set of horses. I just sold it. I was kind of sad when my friends bought it. But it was a horse painting that I did right after we got back from France. So I've had it for a while. It's been in my house since she wanted it. So
Because she is
from France. And it was a fountain with horses. So
a fountain in Bordeaux.
So the horses were green, greenish blue. It was really pretty. Very stylized looking too. So I think that's one of the last times I've painted a horse, except for the one that we did a couple of years ago here on YouTube. It was brown. This is fun. So you could really add a color to this if you wanted to, is what was my whole point here. So if you want to, you know, add color, you totally could do that. And you could even do a color in the background, you know, to start with. And then if you were doing your color in your background, you could paint around your horses probably. And that would probably be what I would do. All right. So there's got all of this major area covered. This horses ended up being a little bit darker than that one. Just because the hair here. And I need to darken up this. I didn't make it dark enough up there. On that guy. All right. So let's see. Let's go ahead and use this smaller angle. I think that, well, let's go ahead and use this brush. This will be like one size down from this to do some of the major areas in the nose and things. So let's go back to him because he's mostly dry. Start out with the white on the ear. And I'm working fairly thick with the paint today, so usually I'm pretty stingy with the paint but since this is such a large canvas and we're trying to blend these large areas, it helps if I lay down thicker paint and then I can go back over like this into that wet paint. And it'll blend. Now I'm going to take my brush and wipe it off once I get that darker color down and get a little bit more of that lighter color and kind of pull up. Wipe it off, pull up. It'll kind of act like a sponge and like pull off any paint that we don't want on there. Okay, there we go. There's our little ear. Maybe do a little bit darker right there. Okay. So I'm going to grab that dark black color and add that in here. Here and blend it in.
You may want to enunciate a little more.
Why? What am I saying?
Just so we can hear you.
Okay. So speak up a little bit louder is what you're saying?
Yes, please.
Okay.
The paint whisperer whispering while painting horses.
Sorry.
Not the horse whisperer.
It's a thing. I know.
I know, you get zoned in.
I do. Well, I'm really kind of just thinking out loud is what's happening, and so it's not really, I'm not really like being intentional about how loud I'm talking.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. This isn't a video tutorial on speech.
Okay. Let's use a little bit of this darker color right in here. Right below the eye. And then we're going to use the lighter color next to it and kind of go around those edges. Do a little bit of dark right around the ear right here.
Yeah, I think you can leave those eyes just that cold, white.
Eerie.
Eerie.
I don't believe you. I'm just darkening up this area up here. All right, there we go. And I think I am going to leave it a little bit rougher just because I like the kind of textures that are happening in here. So if you want to, you can smooth out yours a little bit more, but I kind of am liking the sort of more painterly quality to it. I thought I might even go back in and just add some lines with either like a pencil or like a line drawing over the top almost. I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to do that, but I think it would look cool. So we'll get all the way through it though first before I try to attempt anything really artsy. I got some unbleached titanium on there, but all right, I'll blend that out. Really wanted to get it mostly covered with our black and white first and then add the colors on top later. So just blend that out a little bit. A little bit lighter along this side. I'm going to get a little bit of the darker color and just kind of do this crease that's along that edge. Just all the way down. And then this nose area is quite dark. Nose and mouth area.
Somebody would like to know, are you keeping your brushes wetter than normal for the blending?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Adding a little bit of this gray right in here. There we go. And then this is kind of a medium gray right here. This part of the nose. And that darker color comes up pretty high.
So your glazing liquid is what's in the bottom right that you're touching?
Yes.
Right there?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. I'm using the lighter color over the top right there. I'll go back in and detail out that eye a little bit better, but I'm just trying to get the basic colors in here. What?
It looks like the early voting is in favor of the towel water edition.
Oh, good. Good.
But we'll see when you have more than just
Black and white.
black, white, and gray.
True.
Everything.
True.
I guess we could use side cam.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to get another little holder thing. Arm thingy.
New side cam for what?
For the palette. So you don't have to zoom out so far.
Oh, right. Yeah, and just switch between the two when I'm mixing colors. You'd have to pay more attention, though.
Oh, that ain't gonna happen. So that idea is out the window.
You have to keep me on camera and palette on camera? What?
I would need a raise for that.
What am I paying you now?
1 cup of hot chocolate and some cookies.
So maybe I'll throw an espresso every now and then.
Oh, yes. I don't have my cab red with me.
No, it's a little early for the cab yet today. And
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
all right, dark there, in the ear. Get the light color. Go around the outside of that. Okay. All right, so he's pretty much based in now. Let's get to working on this one over here. A little bit darker color right here. Really just trying to fill this in. What?
I'm going to Debbie's house.
Why? What's she do?
She said it's 5 o'clock there in New Brunswick. So
Don't encourage him, Debbie. All right. Fairly dark down here. It's not quite the darkest, but it's close. And grab some of the medium color, blend back in, soften it up, that transition.
Okay, so for those who are new to the channel,
Yes.
and they're watching us live, or
Yes.
if you're not watching us live, you can click the show more. If you're on like a computer, or there's like a little arrow you can click if you're on a smart device. And down below the video is a list of all of the supplies, so the paints, the canvas size that Angela's using today. She does that for all her videos. And then also links to Amazon store where you can buy yoga blocks that you can't see but are being used right now.
Yeah.
To prop the canvas up at an angle, and the Gray Matters palette paper that she's using over there. And then also links to the brush guides where you can buy the Princeton brushes that she's using, and there's a code Angela Fine Art for 5% off.
Yes.
And you keep on scrolling on down, and then there's links to Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, all those social media places.
Yeah. On Facebook, we do chats in there on Thursdays. If you're interested in catching one of those live. 2:30 on Thursdays, except for not this Thursday coming up because I'm not going to be doing one. So, never mind. No.
It was going so well.
Normally I do.
Okay, so what are your tips for helping to get your paints to blend so well?
Okay, let me... part of it is working pretty quickly while the paint's not, not set up yet. So, acrylics are so quick to dry. You really do have to work quickly. Something like this, though, is kind of nice because you have a little bit more leeway, a little bit. Since it's such a big canvas, But then there is a lot to cover, so it can be hard too. But mainly I'm putting on the, so let's do over here. So I'm going to scoop up quite a bit of paint if I know I'm going to work in an area, and I'm going to put that paint down fairly thickly to begin with. And then I'll pick up the next color that I want to work with and lay it next to it, not right on top of where I want to blend them, and then slowly work it back over the edge there. And if I have too much paint in my brush, I wipe it off. But I'm going to work over that edge and blend those out. And if I have put enough paint down to start with, it'll give me enough time to do the blending and get a smooth blend out of them. And if it doesn't blend in time, just let it set. Or if it's feeling sticky, you can tell if it's feeling sticky because it's just not going to move. Then if it starts to feel sticky, you need to stop and wait and start over later. So, but just start over the same way I did there. Put down the light color and then your darker color or whatever. I usually start with the lighter color and do the darker color on top. Blend out because the darkers tend to dominate. You don't need as much to be effective. Okay, what were you saying, hon?
Said you've also had like 30 some odd years of experience.
Right.
And practice.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
This ain't your first rodeo or merry-go-round. See what I did there?
I do. I'm ignoring it.
Okay, everybody, we're going to see how well Angela can paint while being tickled. Just 1 second. We'll see how well she blends then.
That's good. I'll just work out those edges going around the color that I laid down. So, yeah, I mean, just experience, like Mark said, is actually a lot of it, having worked with acrylics for years helps a lot, I'm sure. But, one of the things that I see with adults especially when they're learning to paint is they expect themselves to, do it perfectly. They're really hard on themselves. Adults are. And, when you're a kid, you kind of just jump in and do art, and you're not really worried about the
Hey, show them your spray bottle you just
result.
did.
Huh?
Show them your spray bottle you just did.
Why?
Well, because people are asking, how do you keep it from getting wet? And
That.
we hear the noise.
Yeah.
And there's the famous spray bottle. Okay, go ahead. So
I have
kids
no idea what I was saying.
You were saying that kids just paint. They
Oh,
just
right.
do art, and adults are hard on themselves.
Yes, they are. They are.
So what you're saying is just let it go, let it go.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, just realize that it's a skill like any other skill, and you wouldn't expect to do something perfect the first 3 times you do it, or, 2 times you do it or something, but somehow in painting, people think that they don't have talent, quote unquote, if they, pick up a brush for the first time and it's difficult. Well, it's like, you wouldn't, it's just mind boggling to me, because we have this notion that art is some sort of mysterious gift that is, gifted to only certain people. And if you don't have it, then too bad for you. But, that's not true. I had to work to get better at it just like anybody else. I had a lot of frustration when I first started painting, but I kept working at it until I got it figured out, So you just have to, be deliberate about it, be persistent, and practice, and just know that, the first few paintings may not be what you want them to look like. They may not turn out kind of the way you had hoped, but that's okay. Each painting is a learning experience, and you just kind of keep on working, keep trying, and eventually they'll get where you want them to be. But, you didn't sit down to the piano the first time you tried it and play, Mozart's concerto perfectly all the way through. And somehow we think that, or I think the art world kind of perpetuates this myth that, there's some sort of special gift that only certain people get to do art, which is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing here, because, there wasn't YouTube when I started painting. I would have been watching this stuff 100%. I still watch other artists sometimes and learn things, It doesn't matter how long I've been painting, I still learn things. There's every artist kind of has a little bit different way of doing it. I've kind of mostly self-taught myself to paint, so I have some, learning from college, but not a whole lot of that was very practical learning. It was mostly theory and stuff. So
And you have a
I'm
love.
still learning. It's not a science, every painting I'm, start like, I hope this goes well. Doesn't matter how long I've been painting, but, and some paintings fight you, some paintings are more difficult than others. It's, we're finishing up that fox painting on Thursday in my Facebook group, and it was fighting me the whole time. I was so frustrated with that stupid thing. I was so ready for it to be done. And there's times it doesn't matter how long I've been painting, but it's just sometimes it's not a science. You're not going to sit down and do it exactly the same every time. It's going to be a process. What were we saying, hon?
Oh, and then, you have a love for it, a passion for it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And
well, and that's where the stubbornness comes in, where you're just not going to give up until I get it right. So,
I enjoyed playing basketball, but more as a hobby, but it just, not enough to like put a ton of time in to become super good at it.
Right.
So I know there's some people who just paint for a hobby and
Right.
it's fun And there's a level of paintings and difficulty where they can jump in and get incredible results
Right.
through the teaching. And then, as they stick with it, just gets better and better every time.
Yep.
And I know you've made the comment in other paintings before or other tutorials where it's hard sometimes to let go painting what you think a horse should look like.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the main stumbling blocks when you're learning to paint is overcoming that kind of left brain that's telling you that ear does not look right. That kind of thing. You're going to have these kind of internal dialogue with yourself. And the best thing to do is just kind of keep on trucking, keep working through it, and paint what you see, and not worry about what it looks like until you get toward the later stages. So these early stages are going to be ugly. They're going to look rough, and your brain the whole time is going to be telling you you're doing it wrong. And you just have to really kind of just ignore and push through those ugly stages. I call them the ugly stage of every painting. We're getting through the R's. We're getting closer to being, better. This one's not got as much of an ugly stage as some. The polar bear was pretty darn ugly when we were working on him, because he had a lot of undercolors that we were working on. He was kind of turned out brown before he turned out white. So, but you got to get those underlayers on to get the depth. So,
yeah, and that's the other thing too, is just realizing that, I know I still have a hard time with that, just knowing that it's not just brown or just green.
Right.
It's all the layers that are behind it that you see, but you don't know you see.
Right.
That help give it that depth and that realistic look.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because sometimes when you look at your paint list, there's like 35 paints.
Right.
Why?
Well, and I use more paints than you really need. I have, you could simplify my list quite a bit and still get similar results. I tend to have a lot of colors on there that are pre-mixed because it just makes it faster for what I'm doing, and because I want to buy all the colors. So that's another part of it.
Yeah, notice you're not using QBO today.
No. My new favorite, quinacridone burnt orange. No, but I don't know what I was saying now.
Oh, just all the colors.
Oh yeah, gotta have all the colors. Oh, but yeah, I actually have a thing that I did this fall. I think it was maybe Christmas time. I can't remember. Yeah, it was closer to Christmas because I was maybe November or early December in the Facebook group where I talked about how to blend, or showed how to mix your own color palette out of, like 7 colors or something. Mm-hmm. So, and get most of the colors that I use with, just a very limited palette. So that's in the archives of the Thankful Art group if you're looking for it. And I posted the picture of it. I think I might have posted it on Instagram, but I know it's on Pinterest or Patreon too. Somewhere down in my public files. Alrighty. So here we go. We got them all filled in. Now I'm going to take my wet paper towel and just going to wipe off any chalk marks or lines that I'm still seeing outside the edges. And I may end up having to go back in with my white and just touch up some edges. But if I do with my pencil outside the lines, then, or, go back over, then it won't be a big deal, because then I'll just kind of look like I meant to do it. So, all right. We're done. No, I'm joking. Joking.
Oh, man, I had
We're
the
getting close.
Xbox powered up.
What are you talking about?
He said we're done.
Oh,
It's time to go play. Let's go.
Mark was already. So we've been an hour, not quite an hour and a half yet.
Yeah, hour and 20, not too
Making
bad.
good minute. Yeah, making good time here. I figured it'd be at least 2 hours.
You still
on
got
this
3
one.
hours.
Still got 3 hours for the rose. Yeah. No. Not going back to that. You know what? I think I might do a little bit smaller. I might go ahead and use that 1/4 inch angle after all. Or 3/8 inch angle after all. Just because. All right. So that's dry. This is all dry. In here, let's grab some white. And now I'm just going to start kind of laying in some more detail. Brighten up some highlights if I need to. There's a really sharp highlight right on top of the eye socket right there. So just trying to get that in. That transition between this color coming right down here like that. Some of the medium gray here. A little bit darker. There we go. Let me grab the round. Oops. Ooh, that would have been bad. It's black here, and I'm going to detail out this eye a little bit. Darken that crease. Now, of course, the eye is covered with that hair. I know our neighbor is like impressed with himself. His truck there.
You changed your brush? What you change your brush to?
Number 2 round.
Número 2 round. I don't know Spanish for round.
Don't know either. Okay, gonna get some of that gray. Blend that out. Okay. Actually don't want it that light. Just tap in some spots on there. Dip in some letter. Wow, that guy's going through the whole neighborhood just driving his truck loudly. Okay. Okay, there we go. Just trying to kind of blend out, get a little highlight around that nostril there. And get some black here. Put that nostril back in. That lip right there. And get some of that letter gray right here. Just gonna put a highlight on that side of the nose. Get some of that white. There's a highlight all the way down with the white. And just blending that out a little bit. What is with the trucks today? Everybody is revving their trucks all of a sudden out there. It's just like a nice day and everybody's decided to get out their trucks to
Their
compete.
trucks and their muscle cars.
I know. It's weird.
Hey, they better watch out. I'll break out the Prius.
That is a pretty mean beast there, I have to say.
If they want noise, I'll bring it.
Literally no noise later. And literally no noise. I don't think you can. I don't think you'll win that one, hon. Sorry. That's good. That's about it. Well, he's going super fast now.
We're up to 20.
Oh my god. We're so stupid. I'm sorry. It's funny because it's true. It's so true. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Mark has left before and I hadn't realized that I was like standing out in the driveway. How is that car moving? It's making zero noise. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm sorry. Don't make me laugh. I can't stop laughing now.
Dave goes, Mark punches it. Somebody says, "Did you hear a kitten?"
Stop. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's it. It's one mean beast. All right, let's use some of this gray that we got here.
I'm going through my midlife crisis. That's why I got it.
Your muscle car.
Yep.
For the executive in you. I am the manager of 12 people. I drive a Toyota Prius. I have my own parking spot.
Yes, I do.
That's from that Saturday Night Live skit, if you want to
Yep.
know what we're talking about.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Old Saturday Night Live skit.
Yep. Dysfunctional family Thanksgiving. All right, so just adding some of the gray down in here. Putting some of these lines in. Just kind of following that thing there and reinforcing some of these lines. I think I might just use this brush instead of using a pencil, just to kind of use the brush to add our lines. Really, the darkest part is right in here. And then you can use the white to kind of come over. And grab that black and just do the black right in there.
Somebody said I sound different than usual.
Really?
It must be the beard.
Is it adjusting your sound?
Yeah.
Mark's beard is very noisy looking. It's very very big and fluffy right now. I think this is the most beard I've ever seen you have, actually.
Yep. This is the longest I've gone without getting tired of it and shaving it off.
And why?
And since I'm bored over here, I've got it all puffed out again.
Oh gosh. I'm not going to look because I'll just laugh.
Oh, you want to look at the beard?
I'm not looking. I'm not.
I saw you peek.
Nope, I didn't. Pretty majestic. Alrighty, there. Just kind of adding dark and lights to get these kind of crevices in our necklines in there. I'm just going to go over with a bigger brush. This is that number 6 angle. Grab some white. All right, and I'm going to start using a little bit of the Unbleached Titanium. Grab some glazing liquid to make it go on. And I'm just going to use it in a couple places. There's some warm browns in a few places here. Or warm whites, I meant to say. Just add one more little dimension. You do not have to do this if you like it the more kind of less warm white. You can leave it. Just mainly glazing here.
I think I've got to Photoshop my beard onto Liam.
I finally posted that picture, the meme that I made on my Facebook page of him. Liam's our grandchild, first grandchild. Bless him, he's going to be so... We're going to be using his photos for so much stuff. This poor guy.
We'll be spamming the
I mean, he's only
Facebook
like 3
group.
weeks old, and we're already posting pictures of him everywhere. Not everywhere. Not that bad yet. Okay, a little bit of white here. He can be like the most photographed child ever, because like if it goes a couple days, I'm like, where's pictures of this baby? I'm going through withdrawals. I got a picture of him sleeping today. Feeling better now.
Oh, you did, huh?
I know. I'm in the chat with all the pictures.
I know.
The grandma chat.
Yeah, you don't share them.
I know. Well, I do. I share the good ones with you.
Yeah, he's my grandson too. I want to see him.
Okay. Well, you want to be added to the grandma chat?
Kind of like visitation rights. I like to have picture rights, maybe.
Okay, just adding white over here. Just working on the blends between the colors a little bit. And the skin is not, like perfectly smooth. There's, bumps and different things in it, so we don't have to be perfectly smooth with this. Coming up from the ear here, just get that shadow back in. Somebody calling you?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Tell them you're already working. Alrighty. That looks a little weird right here, right now, because we don't have the hair coming down this way, but it'll get better once we get that hair going.
So when have you used the unbleached titanium?
I just used it.
Just now? We were all paying attention, as you could tell.
Yeah, I just used it. I was glazing with it. Right. Just through here, we use the glazing liquid to kind of blend those out a little bit. I kind of brought that curve down a little bit right there. little bit more white here. And you get that smaller brush in again because this is going to be too big right here. Just darkening up this area. So putting down the dark color, and now just kind of going back over with this lighter color, blending it in a little bit, softening up these areas. How you doing, Ann?
Doing good, answering the one painting question I know.
Awesome. What was it?
Only because I have it written down on a sticky note. Can you mix unbleached titanium?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
I think it's one of the #1 questions.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of an unusual color. It's only made by Liquitex. The golden version is called Titan Buff. But I like the Liquitex one better than the golden because it's a little bit more opaque. Okay, getting some of the lighter color here. Going fairly thick with this paint here. This really needs to be blended out right there. It's not like a straight line, it's kind of a gradual. So I'll put down the color where I want it to be, and I'm going to go on either side of it. And pull it. There we go. grab the white here, coming around the eye, on top of the eye, right in here, light. And there's a little bit of shadow right here where that hair is going to come down. Just trying to blend out that shadow right there a little bit. We'll put the hair on top of it. And there's like a dark star right here, a little mark where the hair kind of goes in different directions right there. It's actually up a little higher right there.
Okay, we got a question.
Okay.
And they would like to know, is there a general rule when painting horses? And I'm going to expand it and wonder if there's a general rule for painting animals. But
I think well, I think that the placement of the eye and the nose is really important. I think getting your drawing right is really important with horses. It can go wrong pretty quickly if you don't get the drawing right. So that would be the main thing that I would focus on if you're wanting to, do something like this. Is the just make sure zoom out, hon. Okay, right there. Is to, make sure that you get drawing right. I'm just kind of emphasizing now the lines and the muscles here. There's really not any one thing that I would say, on it. They're pretty fun to paint, I think. They've got a lot of, this part appears, the faces are definitely a little bit tricky. But, really you could simplify it, even more than I've been doing. I haven't been really sticking to what I was saying that I was going to do. I've been going a little more detailed. As long as you get the gestures right of the main features, you can kind of fudge on the rest, the main, this part, the shape of the nose and the eye and the direction of, the creases and things like that. They're, it can be really simplified quite a lot. Okay, a little bit more white right there. All right, now I'm just going to look and see, compared to my drawing, and see if I have my dark areas dark enough. And what I could do is take a black and white photo of this at this point and then compare it to my original photograph, which is obviously black and white, and just see if I have my dark areas dark enough. And if I don't, you know, go back in and usually it's either, you know, you've got your light areas are not light enough or your dark areas are not dark enough. And so I usually will go back in after I get to this point where I've kind of gotten most of it done and it's looking pretty good, and just pump up one more time my really dark areas and my really light areas, and just make sure that I've really got my values, those extremes in values quite, you know, just right. Dark's dark enough and light's light enough. Make a big difference. Getting that contrast. All right, that looks pretty good. Get my brush.
You're still using the number 2 round?
Yeah, number 2 round here. Now going in, kind of making some gesture brush strokes with this brush and the bright white to add that bright white highlight to just a few little areas here. This area here has some bright white. And even the white it will kind of get absorbed with the paint that's underneath, and it'll dry a little bit darker. So if you want it super bright, you may have to put a couple coats on to get that real high contrast. This brush is a little bit small for this big area, but there we go. It's not quite white, just like one shade lighter than white. Right here, get some of that brow bone highlighted. Some of the medium gray.
Okay, I may be spreading lies.
What?
Did you start with a just blank canvas, or did you pre-paint it white?
I painted it white.
I am a liar. I'm so sorry, everybody.
You obviously weren't listening again at the beginning of the video when I talked about that.
No. I'm paying more attention, making sure the broadcast started. Your audio levels are right. I'm switching to the paint because I know you don't like it when I'm late to getting the paint on.
Whatever. Excuses. Okay. So getting a little dark right there. I'm not sure what that is. It's part of the lid, I guess. There's a little bit of a gray, dark gray, but right above the black, right there. And then our lashes are going to come down here. Let me get a little bit of a lighter gray. I'm going to do a little bit of a lid just inside the lash line there and there. I'm going to try, see if I can do it with the fan brush. We'll see if it works. I'm going to set down, get a fairly good amount of white on there. Just set it down right on my lash line and there we go. These ones come out this way. There we go. Pretty good. Get some of that darker gray. We'll fix the lash line there. Get some black. Go back up over right here. And open it up under here a little bit. Okay, looks good. Grab some white here. Bright white right here. Highlight right there. Some kind of wrinkles in it.
So do you think that she's wearing fake eyelashes?
No, I don't think so. I think horses win the eyelashes lottery on genetics. They have simply beautiful eyelashes. Alrighty. Good. Grab some of that lighter color right here.
Ray said, "Nabling."
That's good. That's good. I like it. Enabling.
She's learning from Mona and Frank, so.
The punsters.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Been corrupted. Alrighty. A little bit farther back on that with the glaze some of that darker color in here. I feel like
It's turning 5 o'clock in more places.
Okay, is that a hint? I need to get moving on.
No, I'm just saying. I got more options now.
Go make yourself one of those fancy margaritas. Okay, so there's that one's done. Let's go ahead and do the other horse. So we use this here, and really I need to fill that a little farther back there. I think that was lashes that I filled in there. Use the fan brush and flick our lashes down there. Okay. It looks pretty good there. I'm not going to mess with that too much. Do some dark down here. I think we pretty much already kind of did most everything on this guy's mouth area. Nose, mouth. Grab a little bit of that white. Get it right there. A little bit more right here. What are you laughing at?
Mouth area.
Not there. What would you call it?
It reminded me of armholes.
AKA sleeves.
To the common man, yes.
To the word challenged artist, armholes. Alrighty. A little bit more white here. In with some gray here, just gonna all right, that's good. Let's work on that transition just a little bit right there. A little bit more white right here. Oh yeah, I was going to use this kind of a light gray right in the ear part here. And on this one, I didn't really work on that ear very much. Over there, I need to work on that a little bit more up there. A little bit ear hair there. Let's get a little bit more white there. actually, this is shadow from this hair coming down. The ear shape is a little higher. It's up here, actually. Like that. Kind of goes in right there. Get that white. Do the bright white right along that ear. What are you laughing at? It's a hair that I'm seeing coming around that I thought was part of that ear. It's not. What?
Mona's joke.
Oh.
I'll let you know after the show.
Okay. Okay, let's work on the ear a little bit. Up here, just pulling that in a little bit more. A little bit of white. A little bit of the darker color here.
So for those who are new to the channel,
Black. Yep.
we'll let them know about Patreon.
Okay.
So you can go over to patreon.com/engineoffineart and help support the channel if you would like. You don't have to. No worries. But what you'll do is that you'll post a traceable using this painting as the reference for the traceable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's available at the $1 a month level. And that gives you access to the hundreds of traceables that are out there right now. You can download as many as you want at the $1 a month.
Yes.
Then there's a $5 level, which gets you the traceables plus access to a monthly bonus video. And just last week, we did the bonus video, which was a lighthouse. But not just that bonus video. Again, all of the bonus videos that are available in the Patreon group. So it's a pretty good deal.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few 100 hours worth of bonus video there for $5. Sweet.
Not a few hundred. Not quite that many yet.
You don't think so?
No, we've only got like 12.
Oh, okay. Because you've done some lengthy ones.
Yeah, but
All right, maybe not a few hundred. Might be exaggerating.
Maybe closer to 50.
50 hours? Okay. I'll trust your judgment. And then there's a $10 level, which is all of that, plus a Facebook group,
Mm-hmm.
where there's more painting, like the fox she was talking about earlier.
Yes.
All right. Back to the horsies. I need like a galloping sound.
Get that logo off of there. Thank you. Yeah, I really need to wait on this ear hair. Probably until we get the rest of it done. Okay, so I think we're ready for our mane. We're pretty close here. I think I might add a little bit more white highlights on this guy right here. This is looking pretty gray. What did I get on here? Hopefully that'll come off. Yes, it is. All right, time to wash my hands. be the perfect one to be doing our plug for lava soap. Alright. Get those hands clean. Especially on a white canvas like this. Important. For sure.
While you're cleaning your hands, I'll show the bonus painting.
There it is.
So that was last Sunday.
3 hours, 40 minutes, I think.
She did all right. She forgot Stickman, though, in the lighthouse. It's okay. I still think you're amazing.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't know. I haven't done that many people drawings, people paintings. Much more into flowers and animals than people. Sorry. Alrighty, so I'm getting there. Getting pretty close now. Trying to see if I need to do anything. Yeah, let's. Can I get you to clean my brushes, honey? I'm afraid that these are gonna get kind of messed up here. Thank you. This is just white. I'm just gonna kind of highlight this area of the horse's neck. And then you can use the glazing liquid to kind of move. I really don't think I ended up needing that other gray there much. I think the carbon black worked out pretty good. Glazing liquid, and then we'll just kind of work that over between the two colors. There we go. Okay, that was pretty good. Just wanted this a little bit lighter. Looks a little bit better now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, so we can use, I think I'm going to use this brush. This is the number 2 flat. It's longer and it'll give us a little bit more working time with our hair. I'm going to get a lighter or a more fluid acrylic. It'll kind of also help move a little bit, move around the canvas a little bit better. So I'm going to grab kind of a medium gray, add some glazing liquid, add some of this fluid white. This is just the fluid acrylic, golden fluid acrylic titanium white. It's kind of a craft paint acrylic consistency, but it's the professional quality acrylic. Oh, and I need to mess with that ear there too. I didn't finish that ear or this one. There we go. I'm just trying to blend out that highlight there a little bit. Okay. He's going to come up around towards the face there. Having this longer brush really helps, because you don't have to reload it as often. Do these long sweeping brush strokes here. And just make sure we've got our dark shadows where we need them to be. Do some more with this darker gray up in here. Actually, that really dark color. So just brushing it in the direction that I'm seeing the hair going. It's kind of coming up from this area right here. And then I just want to make sure that that area is kind of blended out so that it's not got a straight line right there. And breaking up that line a little bit. Okay. And then these ones are coming from the middle of this and down and in. I'm going to use the edge of the brush and draw it right over the top of my eye there. Coming out that far. comes around this and does a straight line almost. Okay. I might go ahead and use my red brush actually. Try this and see how it does with this white. This is the 3/8 inch Filbert Granier. It's rounded tip. I'm gonna go ahead and use that and see how it does. Yeah, that'll be good. I'm gonna come up over the edge just a little bit. The thinned out paint helps the Granier work better too. It's easier to get the thin looking hairs that we're going for. And if you want it thinner line of hair, just turn it to the side a little bit. Go with a little bit of the lighter gray here. And go with a little bit darker gray. Grab some more of that white. Use the lighter gray. Gonna add some dimension in there.
You're using the Granier still?
Yes.
3/8 something Granier.
3/8 inch Filbert Granier.
Yeah, that one.
Yep. That's the one. up higher. It's almost to the top of this ear. It's pretty high. So I'm going to come up a little bit higher with it. And if you go over the ear, don't worry about it. We'll cover that up later. A little bit of the darker color here and there if you need to. Okay, more of that white. Trying to get longer brush strokes, and this is going to go at an angle, so these should come down longer right here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and do the other side here. And grab some medium gray. This side's a little bit more gray than this side. It's more white. So let's go ahead and I'm trying to start really light so that I'm getting thin lines starting through that black or dark area. And if I cover too much of the dark area, I can always go back in with the dark and go back over. Right, and let's grab that lighter color. Glazing liquid helps move it around. With the Filbert like this, it's got very soft bristles, so if you don't have your paint thin enough, it just won't even come off the brush. So just keep that in mind when you're using it. So pretty. Okay, just take your time. Slowly build these layers up. It can be a little bit frustrating, take a while, but don't go too fast because otherwise it'll go in too thickly. You want it to be light and airy kind of feeling, so just take your time. Light touches with this rag brush. You're barely touching it down to get those coming up a little bit, like it's coming up out of that hair line. Going over with some white. Press down too hard, it just kind of flattens out the brush and you kind of lose those rake, you know, the end where it splits. So you just kind of have to try to catch the tip on the canvas. Go with some darker gray here. White. You can go over the top of this gray, but leave quite a bit of it. It's pretty dark through there, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the dark gray back into my brush here. This really dark color now. Thinned out my
when you get the
add
chance,
some white to this. What?
they would like to
Or
see
water to this.
they would like to see the brush up close.
Okay. It's like a comb. But it's rounded, the tip. But you could use a regular rake, you know, that's straight across. You don't have to have the Filbert one. That would work too. Keeps wanting to come out a little bit farther than I want it to be. Going back over here now, just kind of touching up my hairline, making sure I have nice dark areas in there. I've covered up most of it with my white fur. white. Let's mix in with that color a little bit. Make sure I have enough water in my brush so it's thin enough to come off that brush. And getting some white on there and just kind of trying to catch where the highlights might be. There's going to be like a dark area right where those brushes come out of. Up and around, so I don't want to lose that contrast there. That white here, come up over. So pretty. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit in the ear here. And we could use a little bit on the lashes if we want to soften those up a little bit. That fan brush might have been a little bit too thick to get good lashes on there. So this will give us thinner lashes. Here we go.
Hey, can at least one of them have lasers coming out of their eyes? Just one of them. Not both. No? All right.
Lasers coming out of their eyes. You silly. Let's add a little bit darker color in there. Back in. Kind of lost all my dark area. There we go. Gotta have that contrast to have the depth. And then I can go back over and just make sure that I've got no like obvious lines there. Go with darker hair right in here. And a little too much over the ear there. Wipe that off. Okay. I think I might bring some down just a little more on the forehead right there. Crossing over a little bit right there. A little bit more white now. Last little touches. How you doing, hon? Hanging in there?
I'm doing good.
Good.
How are you doing?
Good. What time is it? 2:30? 2:40?
2:43 in.
All right. Not too bad.
16 minutes.
Oh, no. I'm almost done.
30 minutes. Okay, just going over here and making sure that this outer edge of the hair is not like a straight line totally. Give it some depth there. Okay, get some more white. A little bit of the white. Okay, so just kind of trying to, no, too much. And the last few little bits, you can switch to a liner brush at this point too. And that could help you give a little bit more, you know, control for just a few little brush strokes.
long swiping brush strokes here, just trying to get a little highlight on some of them. No, too thick. Here we go. Okay, almost done. A little bit more black. And what we could do too, instead of adding more dark here, I could wait and just glaze over some of these areas and adjust the color that way. Okay. Grab the white. Oh, what happened to my brush there, honey?
I don't know. Just washed it. I mean, I stuck it down in the garbage disposal.
Okay. That's what it looked like.
It helped clean it much faster.
Okay. Go with the little white here on the ear. I'm going to touch up some of these ears here since kind of went over the top in a couple places. That ear looks so long, but it's right. It's going up to there. It's just funny. Little bit of highlight on this ear here, just making sure that I didn't cover up that outer edge of it. Touching. Okay. What do you think? Don't need to mess with anything else. I probably could do another layer of blending on here, but I'm not going to, I don't think.
For a second there, I thought you were actually asking me the question. I haven't turned my mic on.
Silly you.
Silly boy.
Well, the audience usually tells you if I've missed something, so I think they have their nostrils in the right place. They got.
So there was some major concern over the left horse's front ear.
Left horse's front ear, this one?
Wow. Do you know your left from your right?
Left horse's.
There you go. Good job.
Front ear, this one?
Yes.
What about it?
Just that they said it'll like kind of look kind of odd.
Yeah, it does look odd. It's just, yeah, it does. It looks odd.
So hope you don't have your children here watching to learn left from right. Tune into Sesame Street for that.
Sorry. I'll put in a little bit to the back side of it. Maybe that'll help.
Ooh, they would like a close-up of the Filbert Granier in action.
Okay.
So I'll have to zoom in while you're using it.
Okay. Where is it?
I mean,
it's in my water.
I think this horse's name is Rudolph. All the other horses used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any horsey games.
Mm. He doesn't have a red nose. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, because the ear. He's self-conscious.
Okay.
Let me zoom in, babe.
All right.
There you go.
Just barely touching it down so that it catches the canvas there. And like I said, you have to have it fluid enough. You're gonna have to. I can't do this side if it's that zoomed in, honey.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's what they wanted.
Well, I'm sorry. I gotta.
I understand it's a very large canvas, so.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm done. What do you think?
They look pretty good to me.
Yeah. Pretty happy with them. I could probably paint on them another 2-3 hours, but I'm not going to. You know me. I can always find something else to add. And honestly, if I was, painting this for, for a gift or for a gallery or something, what I would probably do is, at this point, stop and set it up in my living room and just have it so that I can look at it for a couple days. And, I might see some things that I want to change at that point. I think I'm going to soften up just a little bit this little transition right here.
Yeah, because the interesting thing about doing it that way, letting it set out, it dries. So then the paint changes color.
Right.
And then you also get to see it in different lighting. Mm-hmm. Natural lights, different natural lights through the day, and then artificial lighting. So then you can really say, okay, that's what it's missing, and go back and touch it up.
Exactly.
Because for sure, the studio is a very different environment with all the lighting we have in here for recording.
Right. Yep.
Debbie says that her living room is available.
Debbie, you want to look at it for me and get back to me on it? Let me know what you think. I love that. Alrighty, I think I'm going to call that good. Oh, he's so pretty. I like him. I'm going to use my brush this time, I think, to sign it. Well, no, I guess I'll use the pen. Sign it down here in the corner. Ooh, super chat. Sign this sign. I'm going to come up just a finger's width here. So.
Now all the new people know why we were mooing in chat.
Cowbell.
Cowbell.
Nice.
Okay, so we had a couple super chats out of all the awesome chats.
Nice.
The first one was from Sandy, and she says, "Great lesson today with the best subjects.
Oh,
Thank you. You two are awesome as always."
thank you, Sandy.
And then the second one was from Debbie, and she says, "You guys are the bomb.
Oh,
Thanks for all you do for us."
thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Debbie,
Sandy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Especially because I can do cowbell and disco lights.
Okay, turn that disco off, please. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna glaze over the lash line here to darken it up right there. You don't want the white just kind of stopping, so go over it, give it a little shadow. I'll press it back into the head a little bit, and maybe add just a little bit lighter color just right on that eyelid. I kind of lost it when I shaded it out. I'm going to do the same thing over on this one. Dark. Make sure that lash line is shadowed. Oh yeah. I just remembered. I'm glad I remembered to do this.
Uh-oh. Dave.
Getting the toothbrush out so I get really, really fine flecks, but there is little freckles on this horse. So we're going to use the toothbrush and splatter some freckles on him. And I want to make sure that I cover anything that I don't want freckled. So get paper towels out here and just make sure that I've got pretty much all of that covered. There's some freckles down here, but I'll move it when I do those. And let me zoom out there, honey. Or you need to be zoomed in for the freckles, or
well, just because your hair was getting in the shots.
Oh, sorry.
If I'm zoomed out too far.
Okay, no, that's good. It's really right around the eye here, mostly, and then make sure. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to use my wet paper towel and dab it off any of the hairs because I don't want it to look like the hairs are freckled. So make sure I get it off anywhere where it went that I don't want it to be. Then I can, like the lashes, don't need freckles. That's good. I'm going to do a little bit on this part right here because just right there. Okay. Again, wipe off anything that goes outside the lines or where it's not wanted. And then there's a little bit, sorry, soft. Choked myself.
Getting all choked up or splatters.
And on the neck there. Again, just making sure that I wipe anything off that I don't want before it dries. Do a little bit more right here. It's got a little. Alrighty, and this guy, don't see a lot of them, but I'm going to put a little bit right here, just right around the eye. area.
People want to know, are you going to frame this?
I don't generally frame them, but this is kind of a thin canvas, so you can, it'd be pretty easy to pop into a frame. I don't have a frame for this size on hand, so I probably won't. I'll probably just stick it on the wall. But it would look nice framed. It'd look nice with a really pretty black frame.
And you get a splatter, and you get a splatter, and you get a splatter.
Yes. Okay, so now, if you wanted to get really like super fancy, you could use a charcoal pencil or a colored pencil or even a brush. I'm trying to think if I have a charcoal pencil that would work for this. But just go over your lines like as if you were going to sketch it again. So I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know. No, I'm not going to do it. Should I do it? I'm not going to do it. Okay. I'm a chicken. I chickened out. But I think it would look cool if you wanted to kind of make it a little more artsy, put in a few line drawing lines over the top of it. But I think I'm going to leave it. I like it.
Hey, I'm going to do a shameless plug here for you.
Okay.
What was the French art magazine that you were in?
Artiste. I'll show it.
We have a French viewer who's with us.
We've been in the last three. This is the August, September was the first one, then October, November, and we were in the December, January, and we'll be in the February, March one as well, and maybe the next two because he ordered 3 more.
Super.
So we're in one in in each. The first, nope, that was the second one we did, but the black and white poppies in there, and then the first one we did was the waterfall. I think I just saw it. There we go. The waterfall one we did way back when. So, yeah, they're pretty. It's amazing. There's a great magazine. It's really nice. It's got full kinds of really cool art in it. And very honored to be part of it. Really nice, glossy. Great. Very nice. I know. Pretty cool. So, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching us with us today. There's a full-on flat shot of it.
Nice.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. I like it.
Very nice, honey.
Thanks. We will be back on Tuesday night with another tutorial. We'll be painting. What are we painting?
The book heart.
Ooh, I can't wait. That's going to be fun for a book reader like me. Yeah. I was just telling Mark I was going through a book hangover the other night because I stayed up till like 4 a.m. 2 nights in a row trying to finish this book.
I'm waking up to go to work and she's still laying in bed reading.
It was so good, though. It was like the end of like a 6-book series or something, so couldn't resist. Yeah, so that'll be a fun one. I hope you join us on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central, and we'll see you then. Bye.